Hi everybody, Tim Stevens was seen out here in New York with Panos Panay from Microsoft. You, sir, just got done introducing the world to this, which is the new Surface Pro 3. A lot of changes in here, new kickstand, new display, new keyboard. Can you give us some of the highlights of this new display?
Yeah. So it's a 12-inch corner-to-corner display, but it's a 3:2 aspect ratio. Those are words. It feels and looks like a piece of paper. That's another way to say it. I mean, we had a design point that was, hey, listen, what's the most familiar thing we can give to people when they hold something beautifully in portrait? What have you done your whole life? At 12 inches, and when you're using the Windows scaling, you get a lot of content on this screen. It's actually 7% more content on this screen, maybe 6.5% more content on this screen than like a 13.3-inch 16:10 laptop. So it gives you the feel of, if you really want to be productive, that bigger laptop is all packed into this punch of a screen. We also added a friction-based kickstand. That's kind of a dorky term to say this thing articulates back down to 150 degrees and you can hold it at any position.
Instead of just having a couple points, you can pretty much put it wherever you like.
You can put it wherever you like. And I think when people would give me feedback like, well, Panos, a laptop, I can use any angle I want. I'm like, okay, here. And so now you have this kickstand that you can pick any position. You got this screen that's as productive or tablet friendly as any screen ever made. Those two things come together nicely, and then the new type cover has some little subtle features in there that start to stabilize it on your lap and on the desk. And once that happens, it starts to transform into this full PC. But the truth is, it's the core processor in it that drives this thing.
We've got a Core i7 in here for the first time, right?
Yeah, the one you're holding probably is a Core i5. I think we gave everybody an i5. And the i7's launching a little bit later than the i5.
Okay.
But yeah, so we have the i3, the i5, and the i7 coming. The i3 is an entry point. I think people will find the device probably, elegant or sexy, however they determine it, they want it. We want that desire, of course, but we didn't want to keep the price point so high that people couldn't enter into this market.
So you have your choice, i3, i5, i7, thinner and lighter. Tell me about battery life. That was one thing we didn't hear about
battery
today.
life, like you get up to 9 hours of web browsing on this thing, and so you call it all day battery life. Another point I didn't make and I haven't given out is it literally has a standby time of a year. And I was supposed to say it, I blew it, maybe you can tell people.
A year standby time, job done.
Like when this product decides to put itself down, like go to sleep, it'll be because it knows you haven't used it. It's smart enough. And once that's the case, it'll put itself in a mode where, okay, with a 2.5 second boot time, you literally, or 3 seconds, not sure the exact time anymore because we keep optimizing it, you literally can keep a battery on this thing for a year and not lose it.
Something else that I noticed is that the start button has actually moved to the short side of the display from the bottom side.
Good catch.
So
impossible to show in a presentation. It makes 2 points, which is really important. One, it's the right place for it. When you come here, same idea. When I'm swiping in from the left, but if I come to this side, sorry, wasn't ready for this. But when I swipe in, this is where the natural spot for the Windows key was meant to be. The second thing was it was meant to point out that in portrait use, this is a powerful device. And Surface is beautiful in portrait. The design here is really meant to scale Windows perfectly. So when you are in something like OneNote, it is a beautiful writing device. It's exactly what you'd expect as opposed to something too thin or too wide. Also from a holding it perspective, same idea. That's exactly what's kind of happening here. Where it feels comfortable, you'll feel the distribution of weight. Pick up your laptop and hold it by the thinnest part, and you can't hold it. Hold it by the thickest part, and you can't use it.
So I like that change now. I mean, the iPad is definitely a portrait-oriented device with the home button down on the bottom like that. The Surface, though, traditionally was a landscape device.
Yeah,
Why
that was one of the
changing
problems.
now?
I think when we set a tablet to replace a laptop, one of the biggest missing parts of the traditional Surface is you can't use it in portrait.
Now, let's talk about the market reception. Surfaces have been very well received from a hardware standpoint, but not necessarily from a sales standpoint. We've got a lot of interesting improvements here and a lot of nice tweaks.
Yeah.
Is that going to be enough, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what you think the goals are. I think the answer is it's enough. I think people will be excited about the device and run after it. It solves a whole new problem. It's one we've been going after, but I think you find Surface Pro 2, you get a lot of feedback that it's a really good PC and sometimes it's a tablet. It doesn't hit it, but it does great work. I think when you get to this device, you start to cross it. You cross that line of people are excited. There are 2 devices in people's bag right now. I don't think you need them.
So you spend a lot of time talking about that, how a lot of people have a laptop and a tablet. 96%, I think you said, of people who have an iPad and a laptop to back that up as well. Why do you think that is, that people have been unwilling to really kind of combine the two and go with a device like this in the past?
Because tablets can't be productive. And
but why haven't they gone to something like the Surface in the past, though? I mean, we've seen this lineage of devices.
It wasn't big enough, and it was too heavy, and it wasn't thin enough. And so you start putting yourself in this place of like, wow, these subtle trade-offs, they mean something to people.
And if you look at the price point of this, starting at $799, that's quite a nice price, especially if you consider this against a tablet and a laptop. But that shows that people aren't willing to really compare the two in terms of pricing anyway. They're willing to pay more to buy two devices.
Yeah, then they
one.
are, and you're seeing it. Yeah, and so why buy two devices? It doesn't make sense to me.
Tell me a bit about the operating system as well, because that in the past has been part of the negatives against Surface that a lot of people aren't exactly in love with Windows 8. We've seen a lot of good improvements to Windows 8. Do you think that that's helping the experience as well?
I think it is. I think it's not just, I don't think it is helping the experience. Windows 8.1 and the latest update is phenomenal. I mean, Joe and team have done amazing work. Terry's leading a great team over there. I think you're starting to see Microsoft become one Microsoft and a lot of things coming together and coming to life. And Windows is a massive part, man. You can't get to the battery life we're getting to. You can't get to the beauty of this screen. You can't get to split screen. You can't use all these features without the power of Windows. And it's been, it's still amazing.
And we saw Adobe up on stage talking about a special edition of Photoshop. Is that something that we might see more of?
Yeah, you will. I mean, Final Draft, I didn't say it, but that's exclusive specifically. Maybe I did. But you're looking at the guys over at Autodesk that are really starting to optimize for Surface Pro 3. Look, you have a device that you can carry with you at the full power. It's hard to debate it. People get excited. And watching developers get excited about it and develop for it, I think it's natural and it's going to happen. Yeah.
And so we got the hardware, we got the software. Is there anything missing now to make this be a huge, huge success?
I don't know. We'll find out, I think. I think from a technology standpoint, there's not much missing right now. But I will tell you, we won't stop. We're going to keep pushing the boundaries.
And if people want to give you more feedback, what's the best way? I know that you guys are active on Reddit, and I know that you're on Twitter.
You can get me on, I think what I read every tweet at Panos_Panay. If you want to send something to me, send it. I look at it. I don't respond a lot, but I read every single tweet that comes through for sure. It's important to me, and that feedback comes through pretty quickly, and we use it.
Yeah. All right, Panos, I'm excited to try this out, and I'll give you my feedback after I get some time.
I can't wait. I know you will.
Thanks very much.